For a long time, I thought energy was just one of those things some people naturally have, and some people don't. I thought feeling sleepy after meals, craving sweets in the afternoon, and waking up groggy, even after a full night's sleep, was just adulthood, or stress, or maybe just my personality. I didn't think it had anything to do with blood sugar. In fact, like many people, when I heard the term blood sugar, I assumed it only mattered for people with diabetes. I didn't realize it was about daily life, about how we feel, how we think, our motivation, our hunger, our clarity, our mood, and our long-term health. So I decided to try something different. I decided to spend 7 days intentionally balancing my blood sugar and see what would happen. For 7 days, I tracked every meal and every hour of the day with a continuous glucose monitor, a small device on my arm that shows how my blood sugar responds in real time. The goal wasn't perfection. It wasn't about dieting or restriction. It wasn't about losing weight or chasing a body ideal. It was simply about understanding how my body behaves and how my daily habits either support it or work against it. This is what happened when I gave my metabolism a chance to breathe, recover, and finally work the way it was designed to. Balancing blood sugar at its core means minimizing dramatic spikes and crashes. It means avoiding sudden surges after meals that lead to insulin spikes, and then abrupt drops that trigger hunger, irritability, sleepiness, and cravings. It's about finding stability, the feeling of being anchored in your body instead of constantly chasing energy from food or caffeine. Glucose isn't just fuel, it's information. Every bite we eat sends a message to our body. Store energy, burn energy, protect, repair, panic, or rest. And for years, unknowingly, I had been sending mixed messages. Day 1, the wake-up call. I started the experiment confidently. After all, I considered myself someone who already ate healthy. So on the first morning, without thinking much, I made my usual go-to breakfast. Rolled oats cooked with a little almond milk, topped with fresh berries, a drizzle of honey, maybe banana if I felt extra virtuous. It looked like something from a wellness Instagram page. Clean, natural, wholesome. But about 30 minutes after I ate, the glucose monitor drew a mountain on my phone. A sharp line upward, fast, and then, just over an hour later, an equally fast drop. Suddenly, I felt exactly what the graph showed. Restless energy, followed by fatigue. A strange internal hollowness, not quite hunger, but a feeling like my body wanted something. I didn't want food, I wanted stimulation. Coffee, something crunchy, something sweet, and it hit me. This was my normal. I just never connected the dots. I had been calling it low energy or just how mornings feel, but it was blood sugar. So that day, I made change number 1, prioritizing protein and healthy fats before carbs. Instead of starting the day with fast-absorbing carbohydrates, I started with eggs, avocado, spinach sautéed in olive oil, and a small side of berries, not the other way around. It felt simple, not restrictive, not dramatic, but the curve on my phone changed immediately. No sharp peak, no crash, just a gentle rise and slow return to baseline. And the difference in my mood and energy wasn't subtle. I felt steady. I felt calm. I didn't think about food again until lunchtime, and for the first time in a long time, I realized I had been living in a pattern I thought was normal, not knowing there was another way to feel. That night, I wrote one sentence in my journal. If one breakfast can change the trajectory of a day, what else am I getting wrong? Day 2, the power of a walk. On day 2, I tested something incredibly simple. Walking after meals. Nothing intense, nothing structured, nothing that required gym clothes or effort. Just 10 minutes. Around the block, around the living room if needed. A slow stroll. And what happened was almost bizarre. Meals that would normally create noticeable spikes didn't. The glucose curve softened. It rose gently, then leveled out. But the most surprising part wasn't the data. It was the feeling. Usually after lunch, especially after working a few morning hours, I felt my body slump, the quiet afternoon gravity, the slow pull of tiredness. But that day, after a walk, I didn't crash. I stayed mentally alert without caffeine. This wasn't about fitness. It wasn't exercise. It was biology. Muscles act like sponges for glucose. They pull glucose from the blood without needing insulin. 10 minutes, 3 times a day. That was enough to change the rhythm of energy. I thought back to childhood, to recess after lunch, to how natural movement used to be. Somewhere in adulthood, we traded it for sitting. We replaced play with screens, walking with convenience, natural rhythms with schedules. And yet our biology hasn't updated with our lifestyle. My lesson on day 2 was simple. Movement isn't optional if we want our metabolism to work with us, not against us. Day 3, the morning drink that changes everything. On day 3, I tackled something I never considered before: what I drink before I eat. Like many people, I often reached for coffee first thing in the morning, fasted caffeine. But cortisol, our stress hormone, naturally rises in the morning to wake us up. When we add caffeine on top of that without food, it can exaggerate glucose responses. The body thinks it needs to push more fuel into the bloodstream for action, even if we're just sitting at a desk. So instead, I started with water and minerals. Nothing fancy, just hydration and electrolytes. Then I ate breakfast. After breakfast, I had coffee. The effect was striking. My heart felt calmer. My glucose stayed steadier. My brain felt smooth rather than buzzed. It reminded me of something we often forget. Energy and stimulation are not the same thing. True energy feels peaceful, not frantic. Day 4, the stress spike. On day 4, I learned that nutrition isn't just about food. Mid-morning, I opened a stressful email. I didn't eat anything, didn't drink anything, didn't move. But my glucose monitor reacted anyway. A spike. And I understood something important. Stress can raise blood sugar as much as food can. The body prepares for danger, for running, for survival, even when the danger is just deadlines and notifications. So before lunch, I took a minute to breathe. Inhale through the nose, slow exhale, shoulders down, nervous system calm. Then I ate. The glucose curve noticeably lower. The phrase rest and digest suddenly made literal sense. Digestion isn't automatic. It's nervous system dependent. Without calm, food becomes fuel for stress instead of fuel for life. Day 5, cravings and the truth they tell. By day 5, I felt confident, maybe too confident. I rushed through the morning, ate faster than usual, skimped on protein, drank my coffee earlier, and skipped my post-meal walk. And by afternoon, my blood sugar dipped lower than the previous days. That dip triggered cravings, the kind that feel emotional more than physical. I wanted a treat, something sweet or crunchy or comforting. It was the old familiar pull, but this time, I understood the mechanics. My body wasn't asking for junk, it was asking for balance. So instead, I had a snack with protein and fats, yogurt with cinnamon, almonds, some chia seeds. Cravings faded, energy returned. No guilt, no crash. That's when I realized cravings are not weakness, they're communication. When the body feels unstable, the brain asks for fast fuel, and we interpret that as desire, when in reality, it's just physiology asking for help. Day 6, eating out in the real world. Day 6 was a test of real-life sustainability. Dinner out, bread on the table, sauces, shared dishes, dessert options. But instead of avoiding anything, I used a strategy. Vegetables first, then protein, then carbs last. Not to be restrictive, but to support my body. After the meal, I walked for 10 minutes, and the next morning, for the first time after a restaurant meal, I didn't wake up feeling heavy. I didn't feel regret. My glucose had risen, Of course it had. But it didn't shoot up like a rocket. It climbed, leveled, and returned. I felt normal, and that's when something clicked. Balancing blood sugar isn't about saying no. It's about saying not yet. Not restricting food, just sequencing it. Real freedom isn't doing whatever you want and feeling awful. Real freedom is enjoying life and feeling good, doing it. Day 7, a different kind of energy. On the final day, I didn't wake up wondering what to eat. I woke up feeling clear, a natural morning energy I hadn't felt since childhood. No brain fog, no heavy limbs. Hunger felt like hunger. Steady, quiet, natural, not urgent or panicky. Food became nourishment again, not stimulus. I didn't think about sugar or snacks or motivation. I just felt, well, like the version of myself that always existed underneath the noise. And that's the biggest thing I learned in 7 days. Balancing blood sugar doesn't turn you into a different person. It lets you return to the person your biology always intended you to be. Focused, steady, calm, energized without effort, motivated without force, hungry when you should be, satisfied when you need to be, and deeply connected to your body's signals instead of fighting them. People believe health is about restriction, but real health is about rhythm. It's about giving your body what it understands. Food in an order that supports you. Movement that's natural, not punishing. Breath before urgency. Habits that feel like kindness, not rules. Balancing blood sugar isn't a trend. It's a return to the way the human body is designed to operate. The modern world pulls us out of alignment, constant sitting, processed convenience foods, fast mornings, screens, stress. But we can step back in. One protein-rich breakfast, one slow breath before a meal, one 10-minute walk after eating, one day at a time. At the end of 7 days, I didn't end up lighter, I ended up clearer. I didn't end up stronger, I ended up steadier. I didn't feel restricted, I felt supported. And if there's one thing I took away, it's this. Energy is not a mystery. It's a habit. Balance isn't a diet. It's a way of relating to your body. And once you feel this kind of balance, you don't crave chaos anymore.